Sabrina here with my week 1 Sherlockathon wrap up. So these are the books that I managed to read in the first 7 days of the Sherlockathon reading challenge, which is currently running for the next 3 weeks, so you're not too late if you want to jump on board. Link to the website and all the information is down below in the description box. For Sherlockathon we have 11 prompts. One is the group book, The Hand of the Baskervilles, which we're reading over the weekend of Halloween, so please come and join us for that. But I have managed to give myself the challenge of reading a book for every single prompt, because we are not allowed to double up in this reading challenge, and because I'm doing Believathon in November as well, I thought, oh, I'll double up a couple of the books. No, I haven't. It's just not going to happen like that either. So I'm setting myself a challenge. Anyway, the first book I managed to read this week was Know the Holmes and the Case of the Missing Marquez. This is originally by Nancy Springer, obviously now been adapted by Netflix. Please go and watch the film because awesome. This is a fun, short, middle grade book. That's 8 to 12, which focuses very much on Enola trying to find her mother and also trying to find her place in society because she doesn't really fit in. It's been padded out a lot in the film. They add a lot more humour. There's a lot more interaction between Enola and her brothers Sherlock and Mycroft. Yes, that's Sherlock. And whereas the book is very much a focus on Enola, and the missing Marquez is just a tiny little aside, and it's actually very, very different in the book than in the film. So seeing all the differences between the two is actually really interesting, and I think Netflix have done a great job in making what is quite a very simple storyline this quite big, extravagant film, so well done to them. I think a lot of that is probably down to Bobby, the leading actress. Oh, I can't remember the rest of her name, never mind, because obviously she's a huge Enola Holmes fan, and I think she's had a big hand in wanting to expand this character a lot more for a new audience. So there we go. Read it in a couple of days, really enjoyed it. So Enola Holmes was read for the Dr. Watson prompt, which is a book with a narrator. This is told from Enola's point of view. It's first person. Is it present tense? Yes. First person present tense. Not too annoying though. My next prompt I decided to tackle was Mrs. Hudson, a book written by a Scottish author. So I've plumped for Sir Arthur Conan Doyle himself, but I just set out to read one of his short stories. So I read The Dancing Men, which we found in the Return of Sherlock Holmes collection. My husband actually read it to me at bedtime over 2 nights, which was very enjoyable. I'm a little terrified how much of The Dancing Men I can actually quote. I think a lot of that is down to the fact it was one of the first Radio 4 dramatisations that I actually had, and Bert Claus was great at lifting literally the text and sentences from these characters and getting them into the dramatisation, but doing it so it wasn't boring. He was really clever with it. A lot of Holmes I remember because of the radio series, and The Dancing Men is one of my favourite dramatisations because they play with the timeline, which is really fun. So yeah, people were playing with timelines before Stephen Moffat. You don't need to get cross about it, people. That took, like I say, 2 nights. Prompt 2 down. Prompt 3 that I then picked up was a book with a detective. That's the Sherlock Holmes prompt. So I've gone for Aberystwyth Monomar. This is by Malcolm Price. Think Humphrey Bogart, but if it had been set in deep, darkest Wales. There is some tweaks in this. There are druids in Wales. It's not quite the Wales that you think you know. It's possibly the Wales you think it possibly is. It's really sort of grim and dark and moody, and it's effectively Louis Knight, our detective. He's a private detective who is trying to solve the murder of several young schoolboys. Unfortunately, things don't quite go to plan, and he's lucky to get by. He's lucky to get out of it, basically. He's one of those private eyes that really does stumble from one problem to another, which is quite nice. There is a heads up in here. There are a few moments of sexism in here. There is obviously some prostitution going on in here as well, and there is a racial slur moment, but it's done by a character who's not particularly nice. But Louis never actually comments on calling out that character for what she says, so that might be a little bit offensive to some of readers. But a really fun, yeah, Humphrey Bogart noir proper detective. Love it. And then finally, for the retelling, which was basically a book told by an own voices author, and it had to be a retelling, I've gone for Cinderella is Dead. Now this is obviously a retelling of the Cinderella fairy tale that we think we know, and we possibly may love. This is so clever. It's by Kaylin Barron. I highly recommend this book to everyone. First up, it's a standalone, so yay, big thumbs up. It really makes you think about what you're told as a child, as fairy tales are told to you. It really makes you examine them and look closer at the hidden meanings in them. It is so much about feminine empowerment, being true to who you are. There's LGBTQ plus representation in here, and it's so amazing, and I love this book so much. I mean, there's a reason why this book has been hyped. It is as good as people are saying it is. It is so enjoyable. The romance is a nice slow burner. The villain is pretty like yikes. Our lead character Sophia is just fantastic. The supporting characters are really well drawn out and you believe in them. There's really interesting discussions about what happens to you if you're forced to hide who you are, and you know, all that. There are many trigger warnings in here, so there is applied rape, abuse, sexism, misogyny, violence, gore. I think they're the big ones. Child abuse. I think there's child abuse in here. I can't remember. I've read so many things this week. There's some real sort of heavy hitting stuff going on in here, but it's not overdone. It's not so in your face that you're feeling actually quite sick. It is just, it's there, it's part of life. And actually, if you look around in the real world, it's nothing you're not going to see in the real world yourself, which is really sad, but that would be the truth. But I absolutely love this. If you want a female empowerment feel-good story, please pick this book up. So there we go. I have managed to complete 4 prompts this week, so I'm feeling a little bit smug with myself, but I have just started the Tome challenge, which is the Stout Inspector Bradstreet prompt, which is a book over 500 pages, and I've just picked up The Well of Ascension. Yeah, wish me luck. I'm going to try and finish that this week. I've also got several books I'm having to read on NetGalley as well, so I'm bouncing between Sherlockathon books and also books outside of my planned TBR. So this week could be interesting. Thankfully it is half term, but it just means I need to sit down and get on with actually reading rather than being distracted by boring things like housework. Are you doing Sherlockathon? How have you done so far? Let me know what books you've read and what prompts they fulfill. Don't forget, if you are doing it, you need to go onto the website and go fill in the chart that's in there, putting down your books and what you've prompt they were for, so you go into the prize draw for the artwork. So yeah, don't forget to do that. I'll also go and check out the Discord and the Twitter, because we're doing reading sprints on both those channels. And like I said, it's the Hound of the Baskervilles read along this weekend. We're doing it all weekend, 2 days, and there are sprints. There's a live Insta going on. So yeah, come and join us. That'd be great. As always, my social media links are in the description box down below. You can find me on Goodreads, Twitter and Instagram. My book blog's down there, which I have neglected a little bit. Sorry, I'll try and get around to that. And there are links to Booktubers that I think you should go and check out, because YouTube, your algorithm is rubbish. If I say it loud enough, do you think they'll listen to me? As always, thank you very much for watching and happy reading. Be well.